Town leaders in Arlington have now finalized their plans regarding the top cop in town. We have an exclusive one-on-one interview with the town manager and the decision that's been made about the future of Arlington's police force. Celebrating Black History Month, you may have already seen these banners lining Mass Ave. All of these inspirational and historic figures have helped shape our history and all have ties to Massachusetts. We talked to a rep from the town's Human Rights Commission who was influential in getting this celebration going. One of ACMi's most talented members has a marvelous melody that he's adding to his new album, and it was all done right here at ACMi. The music is beautiful, and it confronts the timely and controversial topic of our broken immigration system. And it's President's Day week. Who's your favorite president of all time? And in your opinion, who's the downright worst? We take to the streets to get your thoughts, and trust us, we kept this report clean.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
The town of Arlington has finalized plans for a police chief hiring position in town. Hello, I'm Tyler Valancourt.
And I'm Anim Osmani. ACMi News spoke to town manager Adam Chapdelaine to get the very latest on this story. In this exclusive on-camera interview, the town manager told us who Arlington's new permanent top cop will be, as the story was breaking.
So after what was a pretty long period of time, but a robust process, I'm very, very happy to announce that Julianne Flaherty is going to be named as the permanent police chief.
That's great news. Now, she was the acting police chief since Fred Ryan left last year. She's put in a lot of work. She's nothing new to this area. She's done all the street work and moved herself up the ranks.
So yeah, Julie has been acting as chief since January of 2019. I think she's done a tremendous job working with the department over the course of the past year. And you're right, she has tremendous experience, 25 years of experience in the Arlington Police Department, coming up through the ranks, learning different aspects of how the department works, and leading it for the past year. The final stage was this week, just this Monday. We, myself, the Deputy Town Manager Sandy Pooler, the Human Resources Director Karen Malloy, and Brian Keyes, who is the Chief of Police in Chelsea, Massachusetts, a very well-respected chief in the Commonwealth, interviewed all three candidates as the final interview. And coming out of both the community stakeholder process and the final interview process, there was unanimous agreement that Julie was the most well-suited to become the permanent chief. I will say, though, and it makes me very happy that coming out of both the community stakeholder process and the final interview process, we all also agreed we had three excellent candidates. And they're all internal candidates, so that means that we had three people that, people from the community, myself and others, all thought in a different situation could have very ably served as chief. So I think we're well served by Julie being promoted, and we're also well served by those two other candidates continuing to serve in their roles in the police department.
And also, it's she had a lot of experience, obviously, with the Arlington PD, but this past year, she's had on-the-job training in some very unusual circumstances. Did that play any role in your decision as far as the image of the Arlington PD is concerned, and what it would like to project in the future?
It did. I mean, we followed the process, and we tried to really evaluate each candidate based on how they performed in the process. But the fact that she served in this role for the past year was part of the process, right? She brought those experiences, those perspectives, the strategy and vision that she's developed over the past year. She brought that into the process. So we were able to, look at her and look at the other candidates and see that what she was bringing to the table is best positioning her to serve as the chief.
You may recall Julianne Flaherty was given the title acting police chief after it was announced Chief Fred Ryan stepped down last year. The town took the police chief position out of civil service last year after a town meeting vote. An assessment was planned for last fall, but after some dialogue with the Ranking Officers Association, the town delayed that assessment until just a few weeks ago. Chapdelaine told us he wanted assurance that the town's bargaining units were satisfied that a transition from a civil service to a non-civil position was smooth. Just about 7 weeks from now, voters will take to the polls for Arlington's annual town election set for April 4th.
There are now 5 candidates for Select Board and 4 for School Committee. First, the Select Board. Joseph Curran took out papers last month. Sean Harrington, Diane Mahan, and Leonard Diggins also took out papers for 2 3-year seats. Mr. Diggins works as a production operations assistant here at ACMi. The latest entry is Micaiah Healy, who took out papers just last week. For school committee, Richard Fields took out papers late last month, as did Elizabeth Exton. Incumbents seeking 3-year terms are Bill Hainer and Paul Schlickman. And finally, for town clerk, Janice Weber, Patty Brennan-Sawtell, and Juliana Brazil all took out papers in December for the 3-year town clerk seat. February, of course, is Black History Month, and to celebrate, Arlington's posting banners on 16 poles along Mass Ave, featuring prominent figures in African American history with strong ties to Massachusetts. From Arlington's own Prince Hall, the founder of the first African American Masonic group in the U.S., to the famous Massachusetts 54th Regiment, soldiers who attained immortality in the Civil War. Every banner aims to help educate and celebrate the state and local connections to history. These banners are the work of area artist Joseph "Joey" James. The Arlington Human Rights Commission website is full of information on these historic and fascinating Americans.
I think this year is a unique celebration for Black History Month. It is very robust this year. We have our banners that are right down the town center, and we also have our Black History Month Film Festival. And yes, while Black History Month is every month, Black history in Arlington is everyone's history, and it's certainly something that we want folks to engage in year-round. But it's nice, just like Christmas and other holidays, to stop what you're doing, take a moment of reflection about the people who are connected to Massachusetts and its history, and that's what the Black figures on the banners are meant to do. This is really important to connect Arlington's history to its cultural diversity that we are experiencing now. There are people like W.E.B. Du Bois, who actually is from Massachusetts, Crispus Attucks, whose parentage dates back to the Wampanoag Indians, and Phyllis Wheatley, Melnia Cass, the First Lady of Roxbury. All of these people have connections to Arlington and connections to Massachusetts.
As you just heard, the town will also be featuring films celebrating our African American history for the remainder of the month. For more information about how Arlington is celebrating our Black history, just go to their website, arlingtonhumanrights.org.
Arlington's recreation director is leaving the position after just a little more than a year on the job. Stacey Mulray tells ACMi News she's leaving for a similar position in Needham. She says she's enjoyed her time in Arlington, but is looking to be closer to home. The position is currently posted. This will be the 3rd time the position has been open in 3 years.
And she, for a number of reasons, just decided that pursuing a different opportunity was right for her. And though we're sorry to see her go, we'll start a recruitment for a new director. We had a longtime director in Joe Conley, who worked for the town he actually had a couple stints for the town, but I think his most recent stint was for about 10 years. So we had a lot of stability there. And then after he left for a position in another community, John Marshall was director for about a year and a half. And now Stacey came in as assistant director, then promoted to director. So admittedly, we've had some turnover. Through that, though, we also added an assistant director's position. One of the things that both John Marshall and Stacey, who came in as the assistant director, both acknowledged that was, given the growing demands of the recreation department, that adding staffing was a key thing to do. So we're hopeful that by having that position in place, and there's someone in that position now, that whoever we bring in new will be on better footing than both John and Stacey were in coming into the department. So yeah, you don't ever like to see department heads leave, but I'm confident that we'll be able to right the ship and get a qualified candidate in there soon.
You may recall program manager Aaron Campbell was promoted to assistant director a few months back.
Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey visited Somerville High School this week to discuss the Green New Deal he introduced last year with Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Senator Markey also has something to say about the Federal Communications Commission and its vote last year to revise rules which govern contracts between cable operators and local governments. Markey said that vote allows cable companies to shirk their obligations to municipalities like Arlington where they operate, and he's concerned that public, educational, and government TV stations like ACMi will be hit hard. ACMi News heard from the senator about his battle with the FCC that you'll only see here.
Yeah, the Federal Communications Commission of Donald Trump is really intent on undermining local cable access programming. And so Congresswoman Eshoo of California and I have introduced legislation to protect all of those local programmers across the whole country, because it's imperative that we do so. I mean, the local cable access channel is they're the common. Everyone comes together. And it's for the community issues, it's for the community high school sports, it's for the public meetings that take place, it's everything. And so we just have to protect it.
I think a lot of people think when they watch their, quote, local news, they don't know that about 90% of the local TV network stations are affiliates of corporations from far away from their city, and a lot of those places perpetuate the agenda of the shareholders, the stockholders. So don't you think in your mind that makes community TV a heck of a lot more important?
Yeah, when something big is going on in Arlington, and Channel 4, 5, and 7, Channel 10, they show up for that couple of hours. They put on a program for 2 minutes that evening. Local cable access is still there in Arlington. They're going to continue to cover it. And if people want to learn about that issue, they're going to have to turn to the cable access channel. That's Arlington, and it's every other community in America.
We will have more with Senator Markey about the FCC vote and his Green New Deal on ACMi News.
Arlington police have stepped up patrols in the Muger Woods area of East Arlington. This after recent reports of armed men reportedly threatening the homeless population in that area. This week, police got information that at least 3 men, one possibly carrying a gun, were threatening some of the homeless people and may have been bringing drugs to that area. Police say the apparent suspects may have already moved on to Cambridge and that Arlington police are in touch with authorities there. No injuries have been reported. We are celebrating a week that honors our U.S. presidents, all 45 of them.
Our ACMi News intern Victoria Gonzalez asked some locals about the occupants of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, past and present, and she got some pretty interesting answers.
It's the week of President's Day, and I spoke with some Arlington residents about who are their favorite presidents and their least favorite presidents of all time.
For me, it was Kennedy. Well, he was new ideas, progressive, being really moving up the youth and new ideas for the country. And I think did good in international relations, and also the way he handled the missiles in Cuba.
My favorite president was John F. Kennedy from Massachusetts. Why? Because first he was the first, and being from the old country, he was the first Irish Catholic president.
JFK is big in Arlington, always has been.
Maybe Kennedy, maybe, yeah.
I think President Trump is, yeah. The economy is great. He's made some great peace deals with China.
I would say my favorite president was Barack Obama. I would say my least favorite president is Donald Trump.
My least favorite is definitely the one that is in the White House right now.
And who is your least favorite president?
Of course, George Bush and Trump. Well, say Bush. I mean, I don't think it was he destroyed Iraq, and this is messed up the Middle East.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Have a good day. Awesome. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Great job.
Thank you.
I watched that.
Oh, wonderful. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
There are 39 weeks left until the next presidential election, when we will find out if we will get a new leader or not. For ACMi News, I'm Victoria Gonzalez.
According to a 2019 poll among a group of 200 political historians, George Washington came in first, followed by Abe Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, JFK, and James Madison in fifth.
For nearly 30 years, the annual town survey has helped inform Arlington leaders about your concerns. This year's survey wants to know your thoughts on topics like carbon neutral planning, housing, reducing plastic waste, parks, and open space. Your voice, your town, helps to keep the lines of communication open between town leaders and its residents.
It's great to have a tool where you can get a lot of information from people all over town, good mix of demographics. But if you want to share information about an underknown program or service, then you say, hey, did you know there's this great service, and would you use it? And that's a good way to communicate. And then people do know after taking the survey. So we actually get a lot of compliments on that. They're like, I never knew Arlington did something so cool. So that's a nice feeling.
Julie Brazil, as you just heard, is running for town clerk. To learn more about the annual town survey, just go to arlingtonma.gov/survey. There's always something to do in Arlington, even in the month of February. Whether it's fine dining, history, or theater, let's face it, we have it all. Here's a look at the events happening in the near future, from a wicked witch who's bad to Johnny B. Good. Take a trip to Emerald City anytime between February 17th and the 23rd with the Wizard of Oz sing-along. As the Munchkins say, sing it high, sing it low. Don't you know where to go? The Regent Theater will click its heels 3 times and transport you to the merry old land of Oz. No exaggeration there, as the theater will transform its space to depict Emerald City. All are invited, and the Master of Ceremonies will walk you through the magical experience with an introduction to the film and actually lead you around the set. Expect to be on stage, and for the maximum experience, all are encouraged to dress as their favorite character. For showtimes, please visit their website at regenttheater.com. If sing-alongs aren't your thing, how about a little mystery with a side of chocolate? The Old Schwab Mill is hosting the Great Chocolate Trainwreck Mystery. The event is perfect for children aged 4 to 9, as participants will enjoy an electric train running down the tracks and hearing the actual true story of when a train derailed in New York in the mid-1900s and spewed out bundles of chocolate and cocoa. Will you be able to scoop some of the spilled chocolate? Visit the Old Schwab Mill for more details. February is Black History Month, and Arlington is celebrating in so many ways. The Regent Theater is hailing rock and roll by presenting a premiere screening of Chuck Berry, the original king of rock and roll, from February 21st to the 26th. Known for inspiring so many talents through the years, including the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix, the film looks at Chuck Berry as a trailblazing musical genius and for breaking down racial barriers with his voice, guitar, and charisma. On the 26th, the Arlington Human Rights Commission will be presenting the acclaimed Civil War movie Glory at the Regent Theater. This epic historical drama pick starring Denzel Washington is about the Civil War's heroic 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry. The all-black infantry played a massive role in the Civil War. Learn how. There will also be a special presentation by the current 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry. The event is free and open to the public.
One of ACMi's premier members has just composed a song that's going to be part of a new and timely album. Alessio Moralia is a multi-award winning composer who's churned out 8 albums that have been published worldwide. His music has a great deal of diversity, which allows for a creative range of different projects, one of which is Lullaby for an Immigrant. Alessio channels his creativity through life experience and explores a multitude of art forms. Here's a sample of his Lullaby. Alessio has contributed on many scores for films such as Beauty and the Beast, The Brooklyn Banker, and even Toy Story 4. He's also the composer of our news music here at ACMi. And there are many activities taking place at Arlington High School in the new year in the midst of the winter season.
We have all your Arlington High School action. Let's turn it over to Studio B.
Welcome to the Ponderscope, your Arlington High School news, updates, and more. Are you a junior or senior who speaks 2 languages? Then you should consider the Seal of Biliteracy. This is an award for those who are proficient in English and 1 other language. The deadline to register for the qualifying assessment is Tuesday, February 25th. For more information, contact Ms. Carney in room 510 or your language teacher. The deadline for the AHS Community Scholarship is quickly approaching. The scholarships are for AHS seniors and come from generous community donors. They combine over 100 awards and total over $500,000. All submissions are due electronically by 2:45 on Tuesday, February 25th. Be sure to apply. Details are linked in the Daily Post. The new program of studies for next year is now available on the AHS website. Check it out to find new classes, graduation requirements, electives, information about internships, and more. Portals for class registration will open on Saturday, February 15th and will be open until March. For more information, please visit the AHS course selection procedure page. This year, the A-Town Teen Film Festival will be taking place on March 24th at the Regent Theater. The deadline for all submissions is March 9th. Narrative films, documentaries, music videos, and all art films are accepted. Submissions must be under a minute in length. Details are online at acmi.tv/town. If you need help creating a film, feel free to contact ACMi's youth coordinator at kevin@acmi.tv. I'm Sagar Rastogi, and this has been the Ponderscope.
Thanks, guys. This is a sad story of sorts for ACMi, but we're happy for him. Jonathan Barbado, ACMi's production manager, is leaving us this week after working here for nearly 7 years.
He's now taking his extraordinary talents to higher heights, doing production work full-time for the Boston Symphony Orchestra. We couldn't be happier for him, but it's always sad to say goodbye to a true professional, a generous, dependable colleague, and most importantly, our dear friend.
I want to just take the chance right now to thank you for everything that you've done for this organization. Your endless creativity, your positivity, your ability to work with people and help them find their vision, your spirit, and a lot of the things that you helped design and implement will live on here in this organization. And we're gonna miss you. From the depths of my soul, thank you for being a great friend, an excellent employee here at ACMi, and the best of luck to you at the BSO.
Hi, Jonathan. This is Rebecca with Fate Speaks. Shatson and I, we just want to thank you so much for all that you have done for us in the short time that we have been with ACMi TV. You have been such a great resource to me personally. You've always been patient with us, and so I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you have this great new opportunity that's opened up for you. I know you're going to kick butt, and I know you're going to be amazing, and so I am rooting you on, and I just want to thank you once again for all of the help that you've provided. You've been amazing, and I hope we can continue our conversations and continue to be friends even outside of ACMi TV. We appreciate you, and we hope you the best in the future.
Hey Jonathan, obviously like everybody else, I'm really gonna miss you because you've been here right from the first days that I was here, and also the rest of my family. You know, literally everybody in my family has worked with you at one point or the other in the last 6 years. So on behalf of all the Milans, best of luck, and thanks so much for everything you've done for us.
Hey Jonathan, I hear you moving on. Best of luck to you in your future endeavors. I really appreciate all the support and advice and patience that you've had with me over the years, turning me into a pretty reasonable videographer. I'll have you know right now I'm using the special Jonathan Barbado video grip on a smartphone. I show that to anyone that will sit still long enough for me to show it to them. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Take care and best of luck.
So Jonathan, I just want to say, well, this is going to say it all. All of my love, Jonathan. All of my love. I'm going to miss our morning chats. I'm going to miss our work friendship. Anyway, Jonathan, we wish you the best of luck and come visit us.
Jonathan, I'll tell you, you're a wonderful producer, extraordinaire. I just have a question for you. How come you're always playing? How come you're always laughing? How come you're always enticing people to come in and produce more programming? I don't understand it. You're an absolute genius. You understand that. I'm so sorry you're going, and I'm very sad. But wherever you may be, I hope you enjoy the rest of your life with that group and with your partner, and don't be a stranger, as they say.
The BSO is lucky to have you, Jonathan. Thank you for helping all of us to be the best we could be here at ACMi.
We wish you the best of luck and Godspeed. Well, that'll do it for us here at Studio A. I'm Tyler Valancourt.
And I'm Anim Osmani. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.